This nurse gave 3 patients lethal doses of insulin, which killed 2 of them, and she claimed she did it intentionally because she didn't like the way they were suffering and she wanted to end it. The 40-year-old nurse, who was identified as Heather Presti, stated that she felt really bad for their quality of life and she hoped that they would just slip into coma and die. Even Facts is shocked at this case, to be honest. The 3 incidents happened while she worked at Quality Life Services in Chikora. You should also know that the authorities highlighted Presti's unstable employment background. She has been disciplined on many occasions for abusive behavior towards patients and staff, which will eventually result in her getting fired or resigning from various facilities. Presently, she is held without bail at the Butler County Prison after she was charged with 2 counts of homicide, a count of attempted murder, a count of aggravated assault, 3 counts of neglect of a care-dependent person, and 3 counts of reckless endangerment. She also agreed to talk to investigators, and she signed consent forms for authorities to search her home, to vehicles, and her cell phone. Now let's watch an actual footage of her interrogation and confessions. But before that, kindly use this moment to support Facts by subscribing to our YouTube channel via the link in my bio, and also follow us on TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram. Facts really appreciates your support. Now, let's watch the actual footage.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Too many people moving and shaking around here, and you can't really keep track of who's doing what. So yeah, like I said, I'm just going to go through for everything in this room is audio and video recorded first off. You okay with that?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So I just want to go through, like I said, a couple formalities, cover a few little things off, things that I have to do on my end that I need to do, and things that I just want to tell you and make sure that we're all on the same page before we get going.
Okay.
Okay. So first off, today is Wednesday, October the 5th, 2016, and on my phone right now, I'll just use that as a time reference. It's 5:14.
Okay.
So 17:14. We'll just use that as a start time of our conversation here today. Again, my name is Nathan Hergott with the Woodstock Police Service. I currently work in our crime unit.
Okay.
And we met a short time ago in downtown Toronto, correct?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we came to a facility where you've spent the last few weeks, from what I understand.
Yeah.
And we met with Dr. Khan and his team of associates, and I believe you were under his care for the last little while, correct?
Yep, the last 3 weeks.
Okay. And the process, how we got here basically is kind of offered you a ride back, and so we could have this conversation, and you gracefully accepted, and off we went down the 401, or the Gardner, the QW, and the 403, and here we are, right? So just to make it clear for whoever might watch this in the future, we didn't force you to come with us. We didn't, shove you in the car and off we went kind of thing. You did it on your own free will, and you accepted it on your own decision making. Is that correct?
Yep. I had a nap, and you even let me try to give money to the homeless people. So.
There you go. I remember all that. So I know I read you a few things before, as we were kind of just cruising down Spadina there. And I know you've been read this many times, but it's just things that we need to just reiterate and make sure that you're clear and comfortable with having this conversation today.
Okay.
Okay. Like I said, based on our investigation, there could be some pretty serious criminal charges that result of our investigation. Okay. Yeah. So having said that, if you wish to speak to a lawyer at any time, I don't want you to hesitate. We can make it happen whenever you like. Also, and I know you've been read this many times before, that you may be charged with many criminal offenses, and you don't have to say anything in answer to the charges that you face. But if you wish to do so, we're going to do that today. But whatever you do say could be used in court. So I know we had that conversation in the car on the way back to Woodstock, and I asked you to repeat it in your own words, and you kind of gave us a few of describing it in your own vocabulary. As you said something like, it's not Vegas. What happens in the car on the way back doesn't necessarily stay in the car, right?
Yeah,
so same thing in this room. Anything that you say and everything that we talked about should be used as evidence at court.
Yep.
Okay?
Okay.
So kind of, to put it easily, the same rules apply. Okay? And if you've spoken to any other police officers, I know that you've dealt with the Toronto police officers. There was a couple officers in the car on our trip back here. If anyone's persuaded you or tried to push you into making a statement, whatever they said, I don't want that to influence you in any way. Okay?
No, what I'm about to say, I'm giving up my own free will.
Okay. All right. And I appreciate that. And we'll get moving forward. For another few things, and I know that we said this in the car, you are not under arrest right now.
Okay.
Okay, I want to make that very clear to you.
Okay.
Okay, you're not under arrest. The door is unlocked. Okay, I'm not impeding your way to the door. If you want to leave at any time, if you want to stop talking to me at any time, you just let me know, and we'll just carry on from there.
Okay.
Okay, but you're not being held here against your will. We're not forcing you to speak to us. We just have some follow-up questions from the investigation that kind of got going while you were in Toronto.
Yeah, being interviewed is hard because it takes so long.
It does.
So I'll do my best. Like I said, if I have to get up and pace around a bit or whatever.
If you want to take a break at any time, you let us know. If you want to get up and pace around, I'll just kind of hang tight here and we'll just keep conversing as long as you're comfortable.
I'll go as long as I can.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. That's kind of all the formalities, but like I said, those are the things that I just wanted to make sure that we're clear to you. And if you have any questions for me before we get started, the floor is yours. If there's anything or any concerns that you have.
No, I want to get through this and find out what happened to my mom and dad, because I know they're upset because someone went to visit them today.
Okay.
And visited them today, and they said, they're here, we're concerned, what's going on.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. I honestly don't have those answers for you, but I can get them for you. My role in this investigation so far has been not as in-depth as some of the other officers, but my task today obviously was to travel to Toronto and meet with you with my fellow co-workers and come back here and have a conversation. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I can definitely get those answers for you, and I don't want to upset any more people that need to be, especially your mom and dad.
Yeah. Okay. You should have bought blue tickets while you were there.
You know what? If I could afford them for the playoffs, I probably would have. Yeah, that was exciting last night. So just for the record, and I know you prefer to go by Beth is what you told us, is that correct?
Yes.
Can you just state your full name for me?
Elizabeth Tracy May Wetwalfer.
Tracy May?
Yep.
Okay, and just spell your last name for the record.
Wettlaufser.
Okay, perfect. And Beth, the reason why we're here today is because we've received some information back at the end of last week with regards to some information that was provided to the Toronto Police Service, which has led us into quite a bit of work, and leads us here today to speak to you with regards to kind of how this all started and follow up. But basically, I've watched your statement that you provided to Toronto. Okay. And we've been provided this document here. Does that look familiar to you?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And from what I can see here, there's 4 pages of a handwritten document. Is that your handwriting?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And it just kind of goes through some people that you've encountered in your career from 2007 through to 2016 of August. Yeah. August of 2016. Okay. So that's kind of the focus of our investigation right now is the information that you've put on these 4 pieces of paper.
Yes.
Okay. But before we get into that, I just want to kind of get an idea of your career and where you've been in your career and kind of how you got into things and.
Registered nurse. I started from here in Park Secondary School. I graduated grade 13, went for a year of journalism school. Okay. And then went to Bible College, London Baptist Bible College in London. Graduated with a degree in counseling. It's a bachelor's degree in counseling. And then discovered that wasn't really gonna get me a lot as far as work-wise and career-wise, and so I went back to here in Park High School for a year, and I took a year of Maths and Sciences, and went on to Conestoga College in it's in Kitchener, but they have Stratford campus, so I went there for the 3 years.
Okay.
And then when I graduated there, I worked in a place called Geraldton.
Okay.
Which is 16 hours north of Toronto.
I was gonna say, that's quite a bit north, isn't it?
3 hours north of Thunder Bay.
Yeah, that's ways up there.
Yeah. Worked there, couldn't stand the isolation, moved back. Worked for an organization called Christian Horizons here in town in one of their group homes till 2007. At which time my marriage fell apart in February 2007, and I met a woman online, and she decided to move to be with me.
Okay.
So I ended up quitting the job I was at and going to Crescent Care to make a little bit more money because I was the only bread earner. So I started working at Crescent Care, I believe it was June 2007.
And how long did you work there for?
Until 2014. Yeah, till I think it was March 2014.
And were you always in the same role, or
As
did you do different roles at Crescent Care?
I was a registered nurse.
Yep.
And registered nurse's role is always the same.
Yep.
But I worked in different areas of the home.
Okay.
There's 5 wings to Crescent Care, so I worked in different areas.
Right. Okay. All throughout the 7 or so years that you were there?
Yes.
Okay. And at that point, did you have different supervisors from unit to unit, or
no,
there was the same person, or?
There was one supervisor, Helen Crombie, she was the head nurse.
Okay.
And then there was people under her, Shelley, Jeanette, I don't remember the rest of them. Then there was an administrative head, and I think for most of that time it was Brenda.
Right. Okay. And then from Crescent Care, I know you've had a few other...
Yeah, I went from Crescent Care, fired from Crescent Care.
Okay.
For a medication error.
Yeah.
Then from there I went to Meadow Park Nursing Home.
Okay.
And left there to get help with an addiction issue.
Okay.
Hoping that it would get help with that as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I came back, I started working again in January. I left Meadow Park in September of 2014, and I started working for a nursing agency called...
What was your addiction?
Hydromorph.
Okay. All right.
Hydromorph.
Okay. And how much were you using?
I was a binge user, so I would use what I could get a hold of.
Okay.
By stealing it from the patient.
Okay. All right. So as far as your latest position at St. Elizabeth,
yeah,
that was your last position as a RN, is that
yes,
correct?
Yes, it was.
Okay.
Yes.
And you said you resigned from there?
Yes.
Okay. What brought you to that?
That's where things get a little crazy.
Okay.
This is part that I haven't told the doctors.
Okay.
Because it seems so stupid now.
Okay.
When my ex and I broke up in 2007, I was already taking the medication for my borderline personality disorder.
Okay.
And I was so angry. And it was like a voice said inside me, I'll use you, don't worry about it. And the different times that I have caused people's deaths or caused them discomfort through the insulin, I believe it was the influence of that voice or whatever it was. It wasn't a voice in my head, it was a voice in here. And when I would do it, afterwards I would hear a laughter in my chest. So, started working for St. Elizabeth, and I was doing well, but it was a lot of pressure, and the way that, that I've helped people to die has been through insulin. And after my 30-day evaluation, my supervisor came to me and said, you know, I'm really sorry. We wanted you for Woodstock, but we have so many kids in the schools in Ingersoll that need help with their insulin pumps that you're going to start working in Ingersoll.
Okay.
And I panicked. I didn't want to do that. Because I felt, you know, what if? Those are kids. So I think it was about a week after that I quit. Yeah. And then I packed my stuff in the car, and I drove 2 days into Quebec, thinking like I would just start a runaway sort of thing. And then I thought, no, that's just stupid. So I came back, and I was going to tell my parents what was going on, but they had visitors from Scotland, so I didn't tell them. I just, spent 2 weeks pretending to go to work.
Okay.
While the visitors from Scotland were here.
Right.
It's funny, but it's not funny. And then, once they left, I decided I didn't want to nurse anymore. I didn't want to hurt anybody anymore. So I also quit my other job. And then I decided, whatever Friday that was, that, like, I did a lot of looking into how I could get help, because I realized I needed help with whatever this was.
Right.
Because part of me had started to believe that it was the devil, and part of me thought it might be God with a purpose through my life. And I know the doctor asked me those questions, but I didn't answer them because I was so ashamed. But I just, I didn't want this to keep going on, so I quit both jobs. Looked into where I could get help. Dr. Fernando is my psychiatrist, and he's not a very nice man. So I went on an online support group and was talking to people on there, and they were saying, you know, get some help. So then I started researching some psych boards and stuff, and I saw CAMH, and they're the only mental health facility in Ontario that has an emergency department.
Okay.
So I made a decision, and I went there one Friday morning. I took the train, and off I went. And before I went, I told 3 people what was going on. My friend from AA, and my friend. I told them what was going on. They said, yes, go and get help. And my friend even drove me to the train station.
And when you say you told them what was going on, did you get into details of why you were going to seek help, or?
I told them that I had been killing people using an insulin overdose. And they all said, yes, you better go get help. So off I went.
Okay. And Beth, to be honest with you, I admire the way that you're conducting yourself and telling us and having this conversation with me. I thank you for that. And I'm not here to judge in any way.
I know.
So I want you to know that. And I'm not a doctor. I know you spent a lot of time at CAMH the last 3 weeks, right?
Yeah.
And I'm far from a doctor, but I do appreciate you telling me the truth and telling me the way that these things happened and played out.
Yeah.
And I admire you for that.
Some parts of the footage has been covered up due to confidentiality agreements. Anyways, let Facts know what you think about this case in the comments section. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel as well. See you all next time.